So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
It doesn't seem like I've got much of a choice.
No, I don't suppose you do. But I'm hoping that even if you're not burdened with a sense of self-sacrifice, you'll at least see the sense in self-preservation.
Yeah, I see the self-preservation thing.
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is.
That doesn't really authorize you then, does it?
As soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Right. I guess I'll crack on with this.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum.
Lucretia?
I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
I'll see what I can do. I mean, if this is a dream, it's a pretty vivid one. Oh. Oh, no, I'm not allowed to steal. Small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. Note from Scintilla. Scintilla to Sentius. May Jupiter, Optimus, Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise I will wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Sentia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month, but if you can just show them the strong, dependable men I know, you'll be re-elected. I'm sure of it. Scintilla and Sentia. Have I seen a Sentia or a Scintilla yet? Hello?
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
Oh. What's your story? Who are you?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate.
Okay.
But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly.
I was invited in
here. What are you
here.
doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
Oh, my modern clothes. Well, you're very charming. I don't suppose you do know a way out of here, because it's kind of my priority.
Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Whoa, Scintilla? Your sister's missing?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
Sentia, and Hang on, why didn't your father mention any of this?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. So he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Horatius, the guard. You do seem surprisingly relaxed about her disappearance, though.
I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
I think that you know something you're not telling me, though.
Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again.
Right, okay. Can I speak to you again?
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out of here? Get out, you horrid barbarian!
Okay. Right. Is this out? There are golden statues here already. This is a garden, I think. Oh, no, I don't want to talk to you. Sentius. You can just call me Greg. So the fact that there are statues here already, then like the people who built the city have sinned before then. I presume this is the original inhabitants. Is that you okay, buddy? Don't skip leg day.
What were you two talking about?
Who to? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours?
Oh.
What's your vote worth to him?
No, this isn't about that. He wasn't trying to... I wasn't trying to buy my vote.
What? You're throwing your lot in with him for free then? That's even worse. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day.
Malleolus?
And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
Oh, I don't care about the election.
Good. Then stay out of it. Nobody likes caput murde foreigners interfering in an election.
What language is that? It can't have been Latin. I can't understand that. Well, can I ask you a couple of questions? I am new here.
Can't hurt.
Oh, now you're being cooperative. What do you think about the Golden Rule? You don't sound very supportive of the current system.
I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
How is he going to do that? Is there actually any proof this Golden Rule exists?
He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see.
Dear. Why can't you tell me now, though?
'Cause if I tell you, and it gets out, it'll give old man Sentius a chance to interfere in our plans. And we can't have that.
Right, well, I'm not sure I believe that there is a way to stop it. Otherwise, I imagine you'd have found it by now.
Old man Sentius
done
got
something
you
about it.
already, did he? Well, I'm not talking to people in his faction.
What?
Confortuere.
No, I'm not in any faction. Oh. Can I translate this? Sentius and Malleus. Same excrement, different smell. I mean, according to that graffiti, they're no better than each other. What is in here? I'm not getting in there. Oh, a note. Do not enter. See the cistern. See Domitius for details.
Hey,
Oh,
you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
I might have been. I just wanted to see if the door was locked. You must be Domitius. Well, I wasn't, but now I'm curious. But why?
Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh.
Hannibal?
Why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right?
Okay.
Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed.
Oh.
And it was eating Hannibal.
Wouldn't that have broken the Golden Rule?
If it was a man, maybe. But I swear on my life this was no man. More like a Strix. Or some Versipelus that feeds on human flesh. I didn't stick around to see which.
And what did you do? I mean, I'm not going to say it sounds pretty implausible. Apparently in my brain, I'm 2,000 years in the past, you know. In Italy? Why Italy? But what did he do?
What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
Sensible. Maybe I'll give the cistern a miss then. I don't want to turn this weird dream into a nightmare.
Good idea.
Right, not going down there. Hello? Who was I asked to speak to again? Oh. Aha. To see the object and mess marker. Okay. Point of origin. Wait, hang on. Ah, no, I see. Okay, I thought I misread the paradox thing, and I thought like, oh, if he doesn't create the portal, I'm trapped. But it's the opposite. If he creates, or doesn't need to create the portal, rather, I can go home. The golden rule. Bro, I was supposed to speak to. He told me to start with someone in the Apollo Temple. Hello? Did somebody say something? Coin pouch, no stealing. No one's up here. What's that bust? A sculpture of Minerva, the Roman goddess of strategy. Interesting. Maybe I'll go wait, no. The farmer, he said don't let them use me. Maybe I should go back and speak to him. Is this the Temple of Apollo? Or would up there be the Temple of Apollo? Is that an aqueduct?
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
I'll do my best. Horatius.
What now?
I want to ask you about Scintilla. What's your story, though?
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. Daughter, I should say. And the others. And making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
So you're like an enforcer then? How did you all end up down here?
I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
I'm sorry to hear that you've been separated from your loved one, but it's so weird that you also floated downriver here.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. That said, Scintilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
How so? Can I see the citizen register that you keep?
I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's going to be really handy. Aurelia, commoner, tavern keep, tavern in the slum, claims to know a way out. Claudia, wife of Malaleus, Maeolus, Patrician. Oh, no, oh, well, thanks.
Of course.
I'll read that in a minute. What can you tell me about the magistrate, then?
He's one of the better commanders I've ever had. That's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Sound words. Do you know a way out of here?
I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested.
I can't say I'm too interested, but that's interesting to know. What do you think about the Golden Rule, then?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men. The idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works.
Make people
If you
police
knew
themselves.
You could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny. Well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your
That you
only
would.
chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
Well, where I'm from, it'd be considered a war crime. But you're saying you're in favour of it, then?
What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it. So railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
Let's just talk about something else.
If you like.
I presume you're just going to vote for your boss, man.
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius.
I just wanted to
Unfortunately,
check.
I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
Can I help? Well, I mean, it does kind of make him seem like a weak leader if he can't deal with it.
Hey, if you think you can do better, be my guest. But I won't hold my breath. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal
Equitia.
priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings.
I'll figure out how to make Malleolus drop out of the election. Okay. I'll be
All
going
right.
now. Oh, who was that other lady that's disappeared? Does he just do push-ups all day? Now, how do I see... the citizen register. Here we go. Now... so patrician... That's the upper class then, is it? Domitus... He's Malleolus' guard. He's in the slum. We've met him already, the gladiator. Julius, commoner, unable to work. Imprisoned in the warehouse. Imprisoned for what? Aquatia. Oh, I think that's the lady I was supposed to meet. The Vestal priestess. The Temple of Apollo? Fabia, baker. Galerius, farmer. Georgius. Merchant, a clothes merchant. Oh, maybe I can pick up some swanky new clothes. Yeah, no, I'm beside the point. Maybe I'll have something interesting to say about my clothes, though. Hannibal, foreigner, foraged for scrap. Slum, died in cistern. Horatius, guard. Kabash, foreigner, fisherman, disappeared. Kabash. Julia, debt bondsman to Malaleus. Or Malaeus. I need to figure out what his pronunciation is, I can't remember. Livia, hairdresser, now refuses to work. Lucretia, foreigner, nurse. Malaleus, money lending. So he's a loan shark. Like, why do you even need money down here? Not to be trusted, but this has been written by somebody who's very biased. Navevia locked herself in palace. Physician. Cleaning, gardening, Octavia. Rufius. Patrol. Increasingly agitated. That doesn't sound good. Sentia. Pupil. Restricted to her villa for her safety. Scintilla. Missing. Pupil. Sentius. Ulpius. Debt bondsman to Malaleus. Virgil. Architect. Hello. I can hear you. Hello? Do they... It's whenever I get near a new statue that's on over here. No. You, I'm presuming, are the other patrol guards.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Well, what's your story?
Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but... family's from Seleucia on Tigris. Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions. The 6th. The one they call Ironclads.
Oh, the same as, the other guy, the guards to Sentius. How did you end up here?
Same way as everyone else.
What, conked in the head and washed down the river? That seems to be everyone I know so far. You're still wearing your armor.
Because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious?
But you don't have your weapon.
Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now.
That does seem quite stupid, actually. Because... if people do decide to murder, how are others going to defend themselves? Then again, I suppose the weapons are supposed to get rid of the lethality out of an assault, I guess. It seems stupid to get rid of them. But you're not much of a talker, are you?
If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either.
And what are you dealing with? The Golden Rule? Because I'm dealing with that as well, apparently.
None of your business. Introiti ipsam commensula.
Oh. Okay, let's talk about something else then.
If we have to.
Well, you say you're dealing with something. Is it something to do with the Golden Rule? What do you think about that?
I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
I am completely with that. I've lived through a pandemic. That's a little on the nose. I have lived through a pandemic.
Then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. Well, we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here.
So you acknowledge it
I'm
too?
the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned.
Well, thank you for the warning. But what do you think is coming? Because those people, the golden statues, they're for what's happened before. My mind's come up with this really elaborate story.
I don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? there waiting for something. I don't like it.
Waiting for something? I don't know, but I think you might be right there.
Of course I am.
Oh. Modest. Well, do you know a way out of here?
If I did, do you think we'd be having this conversation?
Fair point. And do you mind me asking, who are you going to vote for?
Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin. How's he going to protect us?
What? Would anything change your mind to make you vote for Sentius? I've not met this Meliodas guy yet, but I don't know, he just seems like bad news from what I've heard so far.
No.
Oh. Fair enough, I'll be going.
Whatever.
Alright, I don't think I want to speak to him again. So this is the market square, is it? I really don't like these statues. That's locked. Ah, hello. Oh, hello.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend,
Oh,
Yulia. She was a good woman.
I'm sorry to hear that. What happened, if you mind me asking?
She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing.
Poison?
And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath.
It's something I can do to help. Maybe I could investigate this for you.
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do.
Well, I've got the power to
Get
time
me
travel,
that
I think.
silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that genetricum fututo and scratching his eyes out.
Okay, we might have found the person who we might, go and sin. I'll see what I can do. But can we talk about Yulia?
Sure. What do you want to know?
How? You say she was poisoned, but that would be murder, and murder's against the golden rule, as we know. So, do you think she could have poisoned herself, perhaps?
Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it.
Well, do you know how she was poisoned?
Hemlock, I believe.
Okay. And is there any reason she, just want to cover the bases, wanted to die? Was she unhappy here, trapped in this cavernous city?
I haven't seen her in months. She's not allowed to leave Malleolas' villa, and they are quite secretive.
Oh. Malleolas. Let's talk about
Gladly.
something else. What's your story?
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I've just been filling in ever since she disappeared. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up.
I get it. It's difficult to, delegate and let other people take control when you're stressed. Tell me more about Nevia. Where's she gone? You say she's missing.
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician. But she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain.
Honestly, that's kind of a tangent for me at this point. It sounds like I want to get into the palace and speak to Nevia, but who's in pain?
I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. And he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off. And I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out. And you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace.
I'm going to see what I can do, because I definitely want to get in there myself. And if I do get in there, I'll ask her.
Thanks, I suppose.
On the subject of statues, or, your friend talking to the statues, is it normal to hear them whispering? Is it them that's whispering? Do you hear any whispering?
Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There was one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her.
Nevia?
But that was Nevia, and she went a little mad.
Just a little bit. Can you tell me anything more about her? I know we've kind of broached that subject before.
Well, she used to run the clinic. Until
yes, we have discussed this.
Yep.
Okay, yep. Do you know a way out of here? I'm just covering my bases.
I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not the half-baked, hanging by a thread excuse for treatment I'm giving them. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best to treat you, but I'm out of my depth and dangerously short on everything you can imagine.
I mean, you're trying, and that's, more than the others can say. I better get going.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Thank you. Oh, statue of Apollo. A large stone statue of Apollo, the Roman and Greek god of disease and healing, among other things. Collection of barbaric-looking medical implements, including forceps and shears. Oh god, do not get sick. Do not get injured. A wooden rack containing various dried herbs and ground substances. The mortar and pestle haven't changed much in the last 2 millennia. I mean, it's hard to get it wrong with a little, little stick in a little bowl.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Thank you, and you. Yulia. So she was Menelaus's partner, or? Oh, was that? Ah, you must be... Oh.
Greetings and salutations.
Oh, you must be the clothing guy, I assume.
Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must
pleasure to
say,
meet
my
you.
sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary.
Thank
Leather
you.
boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
Oh. That is... What do I even say to this person? My nation doesn't... Oh, I mean, this is all in my mind. It's beyond the edge of the known world.
Then you are an explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to share. I cannot wait to hear them.
You
We
were very
will have
happy.
much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
Information. Well, you're an explorer. How did you end up here? I imagine you were exploring, but... And, you know, found yourself trapped here, but I imagine you want to leave.
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
But why set up a tailor shop here?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
Yeah, more or less, but, you know, I suppose everybody needs a hobby to keep themselves occupied, and people still need clothes fixing, I guess.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads.
Ah,
Don't
okay.
you agree?
No, I completely agree. The first thing you said about, you know, the importance of looking our best, I was like, that is a bit frivolous, but I completely agree with the fact of, you know, keeping normality, keeping your heads.
Oh, and there is another reason too.
Oh?
If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
Yeah. I do kind of like you. You're very cheerful. How did you end up down here, though?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Let me guess. I'm going to ask you to tell me what you remember, but I'm going to assume you ended up in the river, you washed up, and you found yourself here.
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time,
I'm sort of curious about that story.
Then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
So you... Well, clearly you overdid it. You floated down the Tiber then. Why not walk back up?
I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
So you were pulled from the river and resuscitated by a stranger up there too? Just like I was, and just like Al was. Let's talk about something else.
Anything you like.
I don't suppose you know of a way out of here.
Shh! Not so loud! What are you playing at?
Did I say something wrong? Everyone else didn't seem that bothered about talking about that.
Have you not been told about the last attempt?
Last attempt? No, nobody's mentioned that. It's not anything to do with Santilla, is it?
Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, am I?
Aha, you are witty. I like that. Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all.
Okay.
And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Okay. Then why hasn't anybody done that yet? That actually sounds like a really sensible way to get out. If you have the wood for it, I mean. I suppose there's going to be enough wood you could scrounge together, surely.
They have. I am getting to that.
Oh, right.
There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends.
Oh.
So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place, and so I say it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Right. Got it. Thank you. So when you mentioned last escape attempt, I kind of thought one more recently from one of you. But something is actively keeping you here then. What do you think of this golden rule?
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Well, why do you say that? I kind of want you to elaborate more on what you think of it.
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up.
Whoa.
Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The golden rule has merely brought it into focus.
And, well, is there anything we can do about it? Do you know? Is this like conversations you've already had?
If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, avoid doing what you would blame others for doing.
I avoid doing what you would blame others for. Well, it sounds simple enough.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone.
We're all going to do it together.
For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
Sadly, I've seen that happen.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
You were cheerful almost to the point of being a bit morbid about it. I've got to ask, who are you going to vote for?
That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus.
Really?
I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
So you're being intimidated by Domitius to vote, their way. You don't actually want to vote for this Malleolus?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
I'll be
I
going.
hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
See... Oh, hang on a minute. I didn't notice he'd actually used a golden statue as a model. This was a person once, I think.